resort to see what we could do for him. He kept getting thinner. They diagnosed him as tuberculosis, which was then a prominent thing. It happened a lot during those years. But they were wrong, and they found he had a brain tumor, and there was nothing they could do in those years. So that was a bad couple of years, really bad. But that's it, it's gone. I don't want to look back on much of that.
Yeah.
You know, we've had years where we made like $25 a week. And I put $2 away, $5. That was the way I felt. I always put a little bit away.
You saved?
No matter how little there was. And I always tell that to young people. They probably think I'm crazy.
What happened to Papa George?
Papa George. Fine, and suddenly Alzheimer's. That was the messiest thing in the whole world, ladies. One should never see that. It is not worth living that way. I think he would have lived if he was, you know, he had an infection in his leg, and they were going to cut it off. I didn't ask my children. I asked no one. I says, leave him be. You're going to cut the foot off, then the leg. That was me, and he doesn't know, and he'll rot. Leave him alone. And that he died in a couple of weeks. He would have lived longer, much longer, but he would have suffered more had I let him do that. I did not consult with anyone. I didn't think it was anyone's decision but mine. But it's bad to have to make a decision like that. You wish you didn't have to.
Life.
Because you don't want to, you're playing God maybe. That was a mess, 5 years of a mess. He didn't know me. He didn't know your father when he came there. And remember in your house how horrible he was? It was a dreadful thing. 5 terrible years, but it's behind me.
Well, we're looking back on a great life.
Absolutely. I look back, I had a wonderful life. He was a great husband. I could do no wrong. So that's, I could do no wrong. So I was spoiled, maybe. Huh? Spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And that's better, not on sicknesses. It's not good. I'm very lucky, kids. I got wonderful children. They're beautiful, they're happy, they're financial. There's nothing more I could ask for in this whole world. Nothing. Nothing. If I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't care one bit. My kids would benefit. I wouldn't live any different. And I'm not kidding you. What else could I do? Just buy more junk? That's not important. I said, I'd like to win the lottery, kids. Kids would have a ball.
We had a great time in this apartment growing up and playing.
Yeah, running around, hiding, looking for the matzi, turning the house over. You took that hall piece off the wall. What else did you do?
We broke up the monkey. Tell us where the monkey came
He wants
from.
me to walk 14 floors, running all over the hills, 14 floors. The monkey, where is the monkey?
I think the Cavins have it.
Yeah, I was always sewing it, putting the eyes together. That was funny. But we had a lot of fun. One of my neighbors came in, she says, my 2 grandkids got scared when he saw all your kids running around making all that noise. That was Sarah Cornick. I don't think you remember her. That was fun. We had funnier holidays.
It was a blast.
It was always nice. All that food.
Great cousins.
Yeah, you had fun with them. By the way, Leslie's fine, and Stacy's fine. The little ones, you'll be seeing them. We'll see them tonight.
Mm-hmm.
She's fun, Leslie.
So it must be pretty amazing looking at the family now.
I can't get over every time I look at the pictures from the Thanksgiving. I don't believe these are mine. They're so gorgeous.
Look at that family. Oh my gosh, you came here as a small girl.
Yeah, and I had no sisters and no brothers. I wanted to have more kids. I really did. But there was a reason why I didn't. But I wanted to, because I wanted my kids to have lots of siblings. because I miss sisters and brothers.
Well, you had a pretty active household growing up. You had your kids, you had your immediate family, your parents.
It was busy. My house was Grand Central Station. Everybody always came to my. First of all, there was always a poker game. They loved it. Even my mother-in-law loved poker. My father liked poker. And we were always serving. There was always somebody to feed.
So was life just one big poker game for you?
Yes, it was. It really was.
Tell me.
I mean that. It was fun. It was.
Wait, what do you mean?
What I mean is people around you happy, talking, laughing, together. We're not by the television.
Is the television evil?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
It's terrible. People do not visit.
TV is...
People do not converse.
But tell me about TV. TV is...
TV's got its good, but more bad than good, I swear. It's informative. I like the cables, the CNN and the others. The rest of it is terrible. And people don't talk. People never visit. People never come. Does anybody ever come to you for coffee or dessert? This is what we did for my time.
Tell me about radio and technology.
Radio was wonderful. That was my whole life, my radio. I loved it. It was interesting, and you still took time with family, with friends. People would not call up. They wouldn't even call. They'd come over. People would go visit everybody. After dinner, people went to visit other people. They did not sit down like you folks. You're all missing something.
You've seen a lot of things in technology.
Yep.
When you came here, there was no TV.
My doctor says I've seen more than you ever will see, the changes in life. From a horse and buggy to my father had a Model T Ford. I think if he had to give up the Model T Ford or me, he'd have given me up. That Model T Ford was his whole life. This was in 1921. Not many people had cars. You still saw horses and buggy, you know, in the streets. Ice boxes, people brought up ice, no refrigerators, little stores on the corner, and my mother wouldn't shop at these big things. It was beneath her dignity going to a big, like the A&P and stuff.
Let's switch gears for a second.
Little stores.
What about politics? Are you political?
A little bit. I wasn't in my youth.
Wait.
Really.
Tell me about politics. Start with by saying I believe politics are.
Politics are a big, dirty business. It's too bad. We really don't get to vote for who we want, and we do. It doesn't happen. Look what happened with Bush. That was terribly wrong. Terrible. And maybe I'm the only one that thinks so. I don't care if court didn't come in. The point is, it wasn't fair. It was an unfair vote. They have to change their ballots.
Is life fair?
Sometimes, not so. Not always.
Are politics fair?
No.
What's fair?
I don't know what's fair. I think it's only fair what you make of yourself. Make it your business to be fair. I don't know what's fair.
What about religion? Are you religious?
Not really.
Say I'm not really religious and go from there.
I'm really not. I'm not. I feel that...
I need you to say that religious part, though. I'm not...
I'm not a religious person. I feel religion is helping people, charitable. It's more important than praying. But that's me. Everybody's not that way. I really mean that. I think charity, to me, is a form of religion.
How did you raise your family?
Well, my parents were. My parents were Orthodox, and I lived that way for a long time because of them. Not that I believed in it, but they were there, and this is what we did. And I didn't go to temple, really. much at all, unless it was to please my parents.
Did you keep kosher?
Yes, we did for a long time.
Tell me that. Start by saying we kept kosher.
We did keep kosher, but I really, truly, no halfway job, and it's complicated. And for a while, when I gave it up, it bothered me a little. Bothered me a lot. But I gave it up because it was too hard. I wasn't well one Passover, I couldn't do it. And in fact, I gave up lighting candles, and your mother said, I shouldn't have given that up. But I did that because maybe I felt guilty because I gave up the kosher part. And I thought that the candle lighting was probably part of it. Kosher is complicated. It's too complicated. It's too difficult. It's too expensive.
So
but I feel they're keeping the religion alive for me. The religious Orthodox people are keeping Judaism alive for me. Because I want Judaism to stay alive. We all want our religion to stay alive, but I'm not religious. So I don't know how that works with me. How does it sound? It doesn't sound right. But that's the way I feel about it.
So now tell me how you are right now.
How I am right now. Not religious.
Overall.
I don't know what I believe in. God sometimes. I think when something goes wrong, we all reach for something. I don't live a religious life.
Just a minute, we'll get to that. So, overall, right now,
overall,
are you happy?
I'm very happy. I'm very content. My life has been wonderful. It is now, even if I'm alone. That's the way life is. You learn to live that way. And I'm so proud of my family. They are so beautiful. They're so good.
Great. I'm going to pause the camera for a minute, and we want to...
What do you want?
Tell us a little bit, we're going to go back in time a little bit to Yampol.
Yampale, right.
And...
Did you know my mother made whiskey to stay alive? To
Pause the camera for a minute, and we want to...
What do you want?
Tell us a little bit, we're going to go back in time a little bit to Yampol.
Yampale, right.
And...
Did you know my mother made whiskey to stay alive? To eat? Because money wasn't coming through because of the war? Terrifying. Terrible. And that's what we did. That's what my mother did.
Now your father came here first. Tell us about the time in Yampol between him coming and you coming over.
I don't remember him. I was 3 when he left, and I didn't even remember him. And he came here, he was en route here on ship when war broke out, the First World War. And I think my mother thought they'd send him back, but he must have gone through international waters. And so he was here, and then because of the war, he couldn't send for us, he couldn't send money, he couldn't write. And so a long time went by until when war was over and he accumulated money, he sent for us.